Greetings, welcome back, mi familia, and all you seekers out there. We're getting into the Gospel of Thomas, and this is going to be an episode of Sacred Texts Unveiled, or something like that. I want to make a new series, but the Gospel of Thomas is one of the few scriptures out there that gives me the chills when I read this, and it, just hearing it or listening to it, I usually listen to these kinds of things on audio, but it puts you straight into a new frequency. And like I just get the goosebumps and I'm like looking at the stars as like listening to these kinds of things, and a couple texts stand out to me a whole nother level, and that is the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Truths, looking at like Abrahamic faiths, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and the Hermetica and the Corpus Hermeticum. They all hit me really hard, and like the first time I listened to any of these, like literally I was just like stone still and just like so let's get into it. And I'm just going to be going through like major parts. We're going to read most of it probably right here, I don't know, but and I'm going to cue you in onto what I see, like what I take from these sayings, because a lot of it's kind of cryptic, but no, like I really encourage you to go and listen to this and read the whole thing by yourself, because or maybe do that before you even watch this, because I don't want my influence to override your own intuition on these things, kind of things, but I definitely want to provide you with what I see and cue you in two things so you can start to understand the cryptic language of this. So, without further ado. Yeah, we're all good. Let's do this thing. The Gospel of Thomas. So, all these notes are from about a couple months ago, so we'll see if I still hit that. And he said, whoever... Oh, wait. Last point here. These are the living sayings of Jesus spoken by him. I think this is one of the only Gospels of, like, recorded, like, Jesus speaking, actually. So, like, just know that, and, yeah. I hope it hits you as hard as it hit me. Whoever discovers the interpretation of these sayings will not taste death. Wow, already have tie-ins to the Corpus Hermeticum and many other things. Those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. When they find, they will be disturbed. I'm sure a lot of you guys resonate with that. And when they're disturbed, they will marvel and will rule over all. I don't know about the last part, but what I do know is we should not stop seeking, my friends. Like, I have this like binges and like this kind of elliptical or pattern of like reading text and getting back into it, and I always like fall out of it, but then I'm always drawn straight back in, and I know this to be true. Like, don't stop seeking, we will find, my friends. All things will be revealed. This one's funny. If your leaders say to you, look, the Father or heaven is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, heaven or the kingdom is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, my friends, the kingdom is inside you and outside you. When you know yourself, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourself, then you will live in poverty, and you are that poverty. My friends, what do we know? We know that we need to know thyself, because that is all you can know. And my friends, the kingdom rests inside of you. The kingdom is inside of you. Why is everyone so distracted? Why is everyone looking out here? Constantly away, my friends. They watch the TV, we go to school, we learn all this bullshit information where we're all focused in front of us, and then we get distracted by what they're doing and what everyone else is doing. This whole world is set up to distract you from understanding and knowing yourself, because when you know thyself, you will know the Father, because the Father is you. My friends, Jesus is inside of you. The Son is inside of you. And when you realize this, when you come to know this, nothing else can penetrate that. Know thyself, my friends. It was written on the wall of every Egyptian temple. Socrates said it. Confucius said it. Like, everybody's saying know yourself, and no one's doing that. The person old in days who won't hesitate to ask a little child 7 days old about the place of life, and that person will live. For many of the first will be last, and will become a single one. This is saying, my friends, don't be scared to leave the kingdom you have built. We all rest inside of this little kingdom where we are comfortable and it is known. And then everyone is walking around this world thinking that they have authority. Everyone's just really imposters. No one knows shit, okay? Nobody knows shit. And it is like to hold authority over others and tell people how it is, but everyone's clueless, my friends. So if you're not scared to go ask a 5-year-old, a 6-day-old, what is the place of life? And you're willing to become an infant and to shoot, like, to anybody, right? And see everyone as someone who might have the key. You will live, right? Because you are walking with open eyes. This one's awesome. His disciples asked him and said to him, "Do you want us to fast? How should we pray? Should we give to charity? What diet should we observe?" Just my little add-in. How many micronutrients should we be eating? How about sun gazing? Or how much time should I spend in my work-life balance? And Jesus is not a man of system. He is not a man of dogma and just bullshit. Like, guys, Jesus is a man, or was a man, or is a archetype of principle. He's a man of principle, okay? It's so simple. Everyone's thinking that everything's complicated out here, and to get to the truth, it's complicated, and to live a good life, it's complicated. It's not fucking complicated. Don't lie, and don't do what you hate. It's that simple. Don't do what you hate, and you will be led by the heart. Don't lie, and you'll not fracture yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Look at the reality for how it is. Look at yourself for how it is. And don't do what you hate. You will be led from within, and all things are disclosed before heaven. After all, there's nothing hidden that won't be revealed, and there's nothing covered up that will remain undisclosed. Be guided by your heart. Don't lie to yourself, and don't lie to others, meaning speak the damn truth and do what you love. It's that simple. You don't have to worry about all the details. Get the main shit right. I have not really understood that number 7 here. This one's great. The number 8. This is great for us in this time right now because I'm just going to read it. The human one is like a wise fisherman who cast his net into the sea and drew it up from the sea full of little fish. Yeah, we're still going. Among them, the wise fisherman discovered a fine large fish from all the little fish. And he threw back the little fish into the sea and easily chose the large fish. Anyone here with 2 good ears had better listen. Those who can hear, listen up. My friends, you're going to have... in this age of information, the age of Aquarius, we're acquiring so much bullshit. We got all these different texts, all of a sudden our minds being opened up, and we're learning about aliens and shit, and we're learning about all the information, right? And we're just overwhelmed with this intake right now. And I'm a seeker. I've studied a lot of different things. I've read tons of scriptures, and like, I've gone way back. I've gone way deep into so many different topics, right? And essentially, I casted out my net once I woke up, and I drew up a lot of little fish. And he's saying to take the big, large fish. When I look back at what truths have been staples, have become ever present and prevalent in my life, right? What texts are taking from, Buddhism or Taoism, or, sacred scriptures of the Egyptians, the Sumerians, or the Bible, right? where do you find the fine large fish? And like I said at the beginning, I found it in the Gospel of Thomas, the Emerald Tablets, Hermeticism and the Hermetica. These kinds of things hit me hard, and I see them in my life ever more revealed. And so I throw back the little fish. So my mind is in a sea of chaos, right? And I focus on a big, large fish. During the days when you... Hold on, I'm just trying to find parts that hit hard. Huh. Compare me to something and tell me what I'm like, says Jesus. Simon says, you are like a just angel. Matthew, you are like a wise philosopher. Thomas, teacher, my mouth is utterly unable to speak what you are like. I am not your teacher. Because you have drunk and have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring which I have measured out. Yeah, and then he takes Thomas away and goes have a private conversation with Thomas. And this is what he's saying right here is Jesus is like no one else, and this is the way, my friends. We get into this a little bit later, but he's saying to the disciples that they've become intoxicated from the bubbling spring in which I have tended. And later he refers to like a tree and the fruit, and how everyone loves the fruit but hates the tree. And all this is referring to that to see the kingdom, to like walk in the light of Jesus, is to not follow him. He is not your teacher. Jesus is not your damn teacher, and he's not your damn savior. He is showing you the way, right? So you should not become drunk off his bubbling spring that he tended out, right? But you have to create your own bubbling spring. Do not compare him to anyone, because he is like no one. He is his own single light, right? And if you attract to this, you will ultimately have nothing. You must see that light and propagate it on your own. Bring forth what is within you, and what is within you will save you, my friends. Be like no one else. Follow no one else. But take what you resonate with. Take the keys, my friends. Take the big fish. Plant your own seed and bring forth your own bubbling spring. So when Thomas comes back, because Jesus took him away because Thomas told him he's like no one, and Jesus like that. And Thomas said to them, if I tell you one of the sayings he spoke to me, you will pick up stones and stone me, and fire will come from the rocks and devour you. Whoa, I wonder what kind of secrets Thomas was told. Maybe, perhaps about the future? I don't know. Ooh, this one's kind of cryptic. I like this one. 14. If you fast, you will bring sin upon yourselves. And if you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give to charity, you will harm your spirits. Whoa. Whoa. When you go into any region and walk about in the countryside, when people take you in, eat what they serve, and heal the sick among them. After all, what goes into your mouth won't defile you. What comes out of your mouth will. Hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. This is a key of keys. A key of keys. I see everyone out here so damn focused on, oh, am I eating the right foods? Is this music raising my vibration? Oh, I don't drink water out of plastic. Oh, I don't like those emotions. That's not spiritual enough for me, and stuff like it. Just like everyone's so worried about if they're doing shit right. Guys, don't worry about the little details and the chaos. Get the principal foundation right. Build the foundation. What goes into your mouth won't defile you. What comes out of your mouth will. That means it's not about what you're consuming as much as what you're speaking forth, how you express, what you live for, right? You walk into a new region. Are you going to turn down the food that someone brings you into their house? Are you going to turn down that meal and that gesture because you have your own little dogma and system that you live by? Or are you going to accept it graciously and give them all of you, right? And then heal the sick among them, right? It's if you fast, you will bring sin upon yourselves, and if you pray, you will be condemned. If you pray, you are asking for something that is outside of you. If you fast, that means you're not living aligned anyway. Like we go into fasting later, but this all really hits me, and like this is why I always try to eat, high vibrational, electric, raw foods, but that doesn't control and lead my life. Like a lot of vegans, they spend all their time like cooking and preparing food and then going to the gym and living for like all this different shit and then like worrying about all these different details. Jesus was all a man of principle. The fastest way to heaven is to sell everything you own and walk like sell everything you own and walk in his footsteps. It's not what you put into your mouth. It's not about how fine and refined you can become in your consumption and your appearance. It is about what you bring forth, what you do, what you desire deep down. It is about, are you doing that which you love, or are you doing that which you hate? What do you live for? What master do you serve? Be a man or woman of principle and make this shit simple, because it is simple. Don't get lost in the chaos and the distractions and the deceptions, and follow nobody. Follow not even the words I'm speaking. When you see the one who is not born of a woman, fall on your faces in worship. That one is your father. Wow. Wow. We got major connections here to Hermes Trismegistus, or Thoth, who was twice born. And then we can go into the Colburn Bible. And the Colburn Bible talks about the twice born. And then we can go into the scripture, and Jesus is twice born. We can go back into all of alchemy, all of the Egyptians, all of the Hindus. What are they all saying? To be twice born. To be born in spirit of the flesh. To not be born of a woman, but to be born of yourself. To be reborn in spirit, essentially. It's the most cryptic thing and the most hidden secret of all secrets. And that is expressed in 15 by Jesus. When you see the twice born one, right? And I feel like there's many twice born, and they kind of incarnate as these teachers, but realize that is one of the most cryptic and universal concepts, and that is the concept of rebirth through life. Like, it's very cryptic, but we'll get into that later. Let's see if we're recording. 16, 17. I will give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has not arisen in the human heart. Whoa. Tell us, how will we come to our end? Oh, I love this. Have you found the beginning? Then you are looking for the end? You see, the end will be where the beginning is. Congratulations to the one who stands at the beginning. That one will know the end and will not taste death. Be the child. My friends, this concept is so important. To live as your inner child and light that spirit. I've been doing a lot of meditations lately on my childhood self, and it's been very healing. And a lot of things have been relieving me because of this. And it's bringing forth what is at the beginning. The child, the purity. He's saying what is at the end, and I believe anyway, is that people who are looking to the end towards death, they're only looking to a reincarnation as like the infant once again. But If you stand at the beginning and do not lose your childhood and keep that spirit alive, you will know the end and will not taste death. There's something very cryptic within that, but I just know be the child is one of my main principles in life. Congratulations to the one who came into being before coming into being. If you become my disciples and pay attention to my sayings, these stones will serve you for their 5 trees in paradise for you. They do not change summer or winter, and their leaves do not fall off. Whoever knows them will not taste death. That one's a little too cryptic for me. This ties a lot into like Taoism and non-being, and coming into being before coming into being. That kind of sounds like being twice born. I don't know. Right here. 21. This gets right back into Jesus says he's not your teacher. Mary asked Jesus, "What are your disciples like?" He said, "They are like children living in a field that is not theirs. When the owner of the field comes, they will say, 'Give us back our field.' They will take off their clothes in front of them in order to give it back to them, and they return their field to them. For this reason I say, if the owners of a house know that a thief is coming, they will be on guard before the thief arrives, and will not let the thief break into their house and steal their possessions. As for you then, be on guard against the world. Prepare yourselves with great strength, so that robbers can't find a way to get to you, for the trouble you expect will come." Whoa. Whoa. "Let there be among you a person who understands. When the crop ripened, he came quickly and carrying a sickle and harvested it. Anyone with 2 good ears had better listen." Okay, what I take away from this is that the disciples, like we spoke of before, are following Jesus, right? And they are drinking off the wellspring in which he tenders, right? And getting drunk off of it. And they think that they know what Jesus knows. It's the same thing that the Buddha taught. And that is, you will never see the kingdom through Jesus. You will never see paradise or nirvana through the Buddha. To become the Buddha, to see that, to get into that realm, you must walk in that footsteps. Like it's to create your own tree, build your own tree so that you can bear the same fruits. Right? You cannot. The tree will not grow by eating the fruits alone, I guess I should say. And right where it says, "Be on guard." Okay, so you know that a thief is coming. So what I take from this is that like the knowledge we have, and like the knowledge you are gaining through seeking, and that temple you are building, you're not building it on your own foundation, head to toe, and basically there's a robber coming, and so basically prepare yourselves with great strength, prepare yourselves with great knowledge, and be grounded in your principles, and establish an unshakable foundation where no wind, rain, hurricane, or anything can shake that foundation. You know the light, you are the light, and you express the light, and no darkness can penetrate. The trouble you expect will come. So I kind of see this as twofold, maybe threefold in meaning. The robbers, meaning if you build your house if you follow someone, right? If you get drunk off the wellspring of Jesus or the Buddha or any other teacher, any other scripture, any other dogmatic religion or anything like this, you will not have an unshakable foundation because you will not understand the materials of the suitcase. You'll just be holding the handle. Therefore, you will be robbed very easily because you only have a hold on the handle. Furthermore, a deeper understanding of this is that build yourselves with great strength, because we all have this feeling that times are changing very quickly. So arm yourselves against the robbers that will come. And the threefold of this would be arm yourselves against the people who are going to stab holes at you and try to shake your foundation because they don't like what they see. Huh. This is the most cryptic thing that I seem to understand for some reason. And this is all because of energy work, and we're going to get into this deep with the Emerald Tablets. The Emerald Tablets and the Gospel of Thomas, guys, is all talking about becoming formless, balancing the body and the energy, and making the two into one, meaning making your electric field balance with the electric field outside of you, harmonizing the inside and the outside, the above and the below. And essentially, like if you read the Hermetica or the Corpus Hermeticum, Hermes is always talking about you must essentially give death to the body and like go into, basically it's through energy work. Like just watch. When you make the two into one, and when you make the inner like the outside and the outside like the inside, right? So as within, so without, as without, so within. And you make the male and female into one. So the left side and the right side of the body, the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere in the brain. We have two nadis that go up and down our body and flow through our pineal gland. When you can make the left and the right the same within the body, balance the right and the left side of the body, balance the sides of the brain so you can think with one. So you'd be androgynous, right? So you get back to the base man, right, who is actually divine. And when you make eyes in the place of an eye, right? Ooh, I think they misinterpreted this. I've read it differently. When you make an eye in place of eyes, right? So you make, obviously referring to the pineal and third eye, and a hand in the place of a hand, and foot in the place of a foot, an image in the place of an image. Ooh, this is all saying, when you're doing energy work, to initiate energy work, you basically have to use your imagination and create the form, and then express life into it. So breathe through it. It's imagination, breath, and awareness, and all of a sudden you form it really does feel like you're forming a new hand, and all of a sudden that energy area opens up to your perception. You can feel it. So that's my understanding of all this, and I don't know, that's just how it is. And like Jesus will talk about this about 10 more times in the Gospel of Thomas. In the Emerald Tablets, if you read the Secret of Secrets, it's talking about this the whole time. In the Corpus Hermeticum, all of this the whole time. And that is through deep meditation, practicing moving the subtle energies of the body, balancing them, and essentially overcoming the bondage of flesh. So to overcome the bondage of flesh, you must create a hand in the place of a hand, a foot in the place of a foot, an image in the place of an image. This one's very important right here. An image in the place of an image of who you are, a new identity in place of an image. You have an identity, an image of who you are and what you are. When you create a new one, and that is confirmed by experience, when you create a new body that you can feel confirmed by experience, right, all of a sudden you move away from the material and more towards the spiritual. Show us the place where you are, for we must seek it. So, Master, where should we seek? And he said to them, anyone here with 2 good ears had better listen. There is light within a person of light, and it shines on the whole world. If it does not shine, it is dark. And one of darkness is completely filled with darkness. He says this later on. So, yeah. And in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth always talks about when you meet someone, like debate with them and see whether they are rooted in like light and love, if they're rooted from the heart, and what they bring forth. You can in the Bible you can assess the health or the goodness of the fig tree by the fruit it bears. Okay. So to know the place where you should seek, follow the light. See it within other people, right? See it within yourself and nourish that, cherish that. The blind leading the blind. This is another big theme of the Gospel of Thomas. You see the sliver in your friend's eye, but you don't see the timber in thine own. When you remove the timber from your own eye, you will see well enough to remove the sliver from your friend's eye. So like, people very close to me, and like a lot of like people have this deep urge to help others, and they have this deep urge to give and like nourish, and they spend all their time like, and then in another situation, everyone's always picking out the flaws in others, but always like avoiding and not seeing their own. So see your own flaws and work to change yourself before like obviously like telling others how they should be different, and ultimately to heal thyself before healing others. Know thyself like before teach. Like it's you can't lead where you have not walked, and if you are both blind, you will both fall into a hole. So essentially, like, heal yourself before healing others, my friends, and don't look at the bad, look at the good, and know we're all like just flawed and fractured down. So it said not to fast earlier, but now he corrects that in passage 27. If you do not fast from the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath as a day of the Sabbath, you will not see the Father. I have recently started observing the Sabbath, starting with the 25th, and the Sabbath is actually, if you look at the lunar calendar, it's always 7 days after new moon. 7 days after the new moon. So it falls on the 8th day, actually. So, and the Sabbath meaning, I really like Walden by Henry David Thoreau, and he always talks about like, damn, people don't know how to like just like be in leisure and just like, wow, this is a good day. We don't have to work to make a living right now. We can just like enjoy what life and the fruits like we bear, and to just observe the Sabbath. And in the Hermetica, Hermes talks a lot about meditating on the glory and the magnificence of this world around you and seeing it, right, and like being at peace. And also that's the first law of Mott, to be at peace and to be like enjoying your existence. That's what the Sabbath is all about. To like, it's not, the Sabbath is not just like pray and give like worship to God, but it is to worship God in the sense that God is all around you, and to see the magnificence of it and be at peace with yourself because God is within you. Furthermore, if you do not fast from this world, you will not find the kingdom. True that, my friends. And he does not say fast from food, he says fast from this world. A week from now, I'm going on a silence meditation up north of Sedona, where I really, like, I don't have Wi-Fi or anything like this, and like I'm not trying to like read any books or listen to anything. I really want to go and get with myself and know thyself. And like I've realized that even though I'm outside of the matrix per se, my thoughts are always, from start to finish of the day, are always thinking about, okay, what kind of video should I make? How should I better serve? Or how can I help these people? Or how can I make more money? And like, how can I get my business going? What do I need to do? We're always thinking about these thoughts and so consumed in them about what we think is important and all this shit, right? That we never let the self speak through. So if you can take a week to go into the wilderness, right? And like set the intention that I will not think thoughts about what I must get done. I will not think thoughts about like what I should worry about the task, and I will not think thoughts about who I want to become or my goals or my future. If you can go in completely clear, right, and just go within yourself and see who you are, that is the ultimate healing and your source of ultimate power, because if you can know thyself, you'll know this world and you'll know the kingdom. Know thyself. Stop projecting, start listening. I'm just going to end it right there. I think that was a long enough video for now. That's part 1 of the Gospel of Thomas, and this is Again, episode 1 of Sacred Texts Unveiled with Dmitrius over at Reality Files. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys got something out of this. Let me know what you think. I love this text and the teaching in it. It's fucking fantastic. Anyway, a city built on a high hill and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. My friends, light your damn lamp and hang it on the lamppost. Be the change you want to see. And ever keep your eyes turned towards the light, seeking the truth, because it will be revealed and you will see the kingdom. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace out.